The Verdict from 1982, directed by Sidney Lumet, is my favorite Paul Newman film. I also like Slapshot, and I'll be honest with you, I'm probably the only person in the world that didn't care for The Hustler or Cool Hand Luke, which are Newman's other best known starring vehicles that he did. I did like Cat on Hot Tin Roof. That's probably his best performance other than The Verdict. But yeah, I simply didn't care for the Hustler Cool Hand Luke. I thought that Cool Hand Luke Cool Hand Luke was just simply not for me. I don't know what could have been done differently. That's just me. But the Hustler, yeah, I found Hustler very dull. I'm probably the one person in the world that thinks that, but you know what? That's fine. As long as I liked some of his films, then I won't be missing much on the Hollywood Blue Eyes himself. Um, but even if I did enjoy Cool Hand Luke and The Hustler, the verdict is it's. I really don't see how a prison film and a film about playing pool could surpass one of the finest courtroom dramas I've ever seen. This isn't quite obviously as good as like 12 Angry Men, but it's close to it. Well, relatively close because it's 12 Angry Men we're talking about. But yeah, the verdict, without question, I think is Paul Newman's best performance. He plays this down on his luck alcoholic lawyer named Frank Galvin, who has been on an unlucky streak as of late. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of cases in the past few years, and he's lost them all. And we get to learn a little bit of why he's the way he is, and what led to his downward spiral. It's quite compelling, even though even though it's kind of brief the way that everything's explained. Soon he gets signed to this malpractice where this married couple, the woman's sister, um, had the wrong anesthesia, so led to her being in a vegetative state, and the party was going to they wanted to settle outside of court. This film takes place in 1982, right? And the amount of money to settle out of court was $210,000. Now I know that it was back in the 80s, and it's 2022 right now, and probably doesn't really seem like a whole lot as of now, as opposed to 40 years ago. But yeah, $210,000 was what the settling out of court was originally supposed to have been. Yeah, everyone wanted to settle out of court except for Frank himself. He knows that it can. He knows that it can bring his life back on track, and that he can finally deliver justice to the people that really need it. James Mason plays the defendant. Well, not the defendant, the opposing lawyer to Newman. And yeah, James Mason he's one of those guys where like everything that I see him in, I'm like, all right, it's James Mason, and yeah, he's also really good in this. My favorite James Mason thing that he did was Lolita, but this is about the verdict. I'm sorry to get on a tangent, but yeah, Paul Newman is his opponent in this, and there's really no chance in Frank winning. He was going to need a miracle. Now this movie is quite the comeback film it is the ultimate redemption story. So kind of unoriginal in that sense, but we don't really get a whole lot of redemption films and comebacks that take place in the courtroom. And this isn't really much of it's not a run of the mill courtroom drama. It's a little too interesting to be, well, in my opinion at least, to be a regular courtroom drama. It's just so exciting and interesting the way that all happens. Exceedingly well acted and directed too. Okay, maybe it's not exceedingly well directed, but it's still like that acting and the developments of everything, especially by Newman, all exceptional. Despite this being Newman's best performance to me, he didn't win the Oscar. He was nominated. He lost to Ben Kingsley for playing Gandhi, and obviously he wasn't going to defeat someone that looked so much like the Mahatma. But at least Newman came decently close. Instead, Newman wins a few years later for the Hustler sequel called The Color of Money, which, let's face it, that was just a makeup win. He wasn't deserving for that movie at all. Yep, this one right here, The Verdict, is Newman's best film, regardless of what people say. I'll fight people to the death that debate whether this is Newman's best film or his best performance, because I certainly think that it is. I'm going to give The Hustle... No, what am I saying? I'm going to give The Verdict 4 stars out of 4.